Hello again, and welcome to Lesson 20's Writing Words 2, where we will be looking, listening, and writing words that have long and short vowel sounds. And in this lesson, they all have more than one syllable. And our first word takes us back to what would now be considered a retro piece of equipment. A video machine and a videotape for playing films. We can also use the word video for the films that we take. So, let's have a think. Video. How many syllables? Vid-e-o. 3. Let's draw one line for each syllable. Vid-e-o. Vid begins with v. Can you feel that vibration as you say v? I, d, vid. E, o. Now which letters will we need? V is V. I is I. D is D. E, well, I can see that it's a long vowel sound and I can hear as well, all on its own in a syllable. So I need the letter E. And O at the end of the word can sometimes be spelt in a different way, but in this word, O is O. Video. Now let's write it again and join the letters together. Vid-e-o. Well done. Now there are several screens in this particular film for you to have a go at writing different words. So it's fine if you decide after doing a few screens to have a break and come back to the rest of the words later. Maybe you'd like to have a couple of breaks while you think about the words we're including. And here we can see odd numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. And we have covered the word odd. So now we are going to think about even numbers. What would they be? Have a think before they appear. Well done. 2, 4, 6 and 8. That's what we start with. We need the word even, and it needs a bit of a spelling language because it's a word where the second syllable is rushed a wee bit. It isn't stressed. So how many syllables? 1, E, then is how we're going to say it. E, v, e, n. That's our spelling language. Then. So E will be written with the letter E because it's all on its own in a syllable. And then is V, E is E, N is N. And let's write the word joining the syllables. Even. And you'll notice that time I said it the way we tend to say it. And so we have a way of saying a word and a way of spelling a word. Even and even as our spelling language to remember exactly which letters to write. And our next word is written with very similar letters, but we don't need a spelling language. It's the word event. And in this word we can hear the sounds that tell us which letters to write. So, event. E-vent. I can hear E, a long vowel sound in that first syllable, and then I can hear V, E, N, T. Let's think of the letters we need. Well, all on its own in a syllable, E will be the letter E. And vent, well, because we've already written even, it's going to be pretty simple. V is V, E is E, N is N, and T is T. I'll write it again to join up the syllables. And here we have the word event. Now this picture tells us a lot about the word we are going to write. You can see from this symbol that we are going to give the word a spelling language. And here we are going to count the apples to find out the word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's the number. But we're going to pronounce it sev-en to help us think about the spelling, because it's another word where we don't say the last syllable in a way that helps. So sev-en. How many syllables can you hear in sev-en? Well done. There are 2. So let's draw one line for each syllable. Sev-en. And which sounds can we hear? S, E, V, N, E, N. Now when we write the first syllable, sev, we don't need to add an E, even though it ends in V, because we are writing a syllable, not the very end of a word. So, S will be S, E will be E, and V will be V, sev. And the next syllable, N. E is E, N is N. Let's join those syllables together. Sev-en. Well done. Let's find out what our next words are going to be. Oh, that looks like fun. People being active. Looks like a good game. that's our word, active. How many syllables can we hear? 2. Active. How many sounds in ac? A, k. And in tiv, t, I, v. So let's think about the letters that we need. Ac, A is A, K is C. And tiv, we can hear t, I, v, and there is that vibration. And if a word ends in the letter V, we add an E. So, t is T, I is I, V is V, and we add an E. Then we'll cross the T and dot the I. Let's join the syllables together. Active. Our next word is motive, the reason that we have for doing things. I think their motive in playing the game they're playing in the park was to have fun. How many syllables can you hear in motive? Yep, there were 2 again. Motive. O, T, I, V, like the last word. Mo, is M, and O is O, because I can hear it at the end of a syllable. And tiv, T is T, I is I, V is V, and I add an E because it's at the end of the word. Let's write it again, joining the syllables. And what do you think your motive was for doing these lessons? Maybe it was to improve your handwriting. Maybe it was to improve your spelling. Maybe it was so that you could work more quickly by doing both of those things. But well done. Great motives. Let's have a look at the next words. Oh, we have negative and positive, opposite ends of the scale. And you can see the faces and a thumbs up or a thumbs down, like you might do in school sometimes, to show what you think about something. Let's take negative to begin with. How many syllables can we hear? Negative. 3. Okay. Neg, a, tiv. I can hear n, e, g. Then I can hear a. Then I can hear t, I, v. So let's write the letters we need. N is N. E is E. G is G. Neg. Then I could hear A. A is A. And tiv. T is T. I is I. Is V, and we add an E. because that V is at the end of a word. Let's join the syllables together. Negative. That just popped up on the screen. Did it surprise you? Next time, I'll leave a bigger gap before it pops up, and you can then check to see if you have written it. Not just correctly, but in beautiful handwriting that you can be proud of, because that would be another motive. And now we'll write the opposite feeling, positive. Positive. And here we're going to have another spelling language, because we say positive, but we need to write it with an S. So, positive. And we might have another wee think about whether we need another wee touch for our spelling language in a minute. But first of all, pos, p, o, s, I, and then tiv, t, I, r. Pos, p is P, O is O, S is S, I would be the letter I, but so would I as an open syllable. Now, you can leave it as I that you say, because most of the time we do write it with the letter I. But in an open syllable, we would also be writing the letter I. You go with what makes you feel confident. Pos I or pos I, tiv, t, I, r. And we add an E because the word ended in a V. Positive is how we say it. Here is another word. This word is the penultimate, which means it's second to last. And our word is sensitive. We have sensitive skin, so if we are out in very bright sunshine, we might need some sun cream. Sensitive. How many syllables? 3. Well spotted. Sensitive. I can hear s, e, n, s, I, and t, I, r. S is S, E is E, N is N. My tongue was behind my teeth. And si, which I might also want to say sigh. Your decision is S, I. And then tiv. T is T, I is I, R is V, and I add an E. So, a spelling choice decision. Am I going to say sensitive to myself when I'm spelling it? Or am I going to say sensitive to end up with the right spelling. Our very last word. Whoa, look at that. All sorts of different activities. They're all the things that could be competitive. How many syllables in competitive? I think there'll be 4. Draw a line for each one. Competitive. Okay. K o m p e t I tiv t I v. Let's write the letters we need. K is C, O is O, M is M. And my mouth was closed that time, so I know to write a letter M. Pet, P is P, E is E, T is T, I is I, or what could you do? You might decide to say it as I when you're going through the spelling. To remember to write an I, you might prefer that way. And then tiv. T is T, I is I, V is V, and we add an E. Competitive. You might also have decided, nah, don't like those methods. I'm going to say competitive. Because I'm nice and confident now over that iv spelling. So I'm going to say it first before it to make sure I get the word right. And this is definitely time for a round of applause for competing and winning in this lesson. Thank you for joining me.